Hey friends, welcome to my art classroom. Get ready for pencil still life animal sketches, and we're going to go to large pen sketches and end with wax resist using a crayon and getting a lot of wax on there and then resisting it with watercolor. Of these three things, which are going to be fun and quick, I have for you in my classroom, hopefully you're inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. like I am, I have some of my photography. And if you have some of your photography, you'll notice that's an upcoming homework to avoid plagiarism in art. And I am playing non-copyrighted music. I have you take photography as an artist and look at something you like within your thematic unit, and draw it. So let's start with something you like. If you like flowers like I do, let's look closely how we start. If you can have your photography next to you or your source, you can start drawing. I'm looking at the middle and I'm coming out petal by petal. And it's just really slow because I have some students who go, Mrs. Smith, how do I do it? So you just look at a different section and try to break it into geometric shapes and work a little bit at a time, just like you do. Then you're gonna notice this says tone. And if you guys had me, you know this is gonna be 3 or 4 pencil sketches. I've taught you about tone, and tone is a technical skill that you're going to use again and again. Remember, if the light's hitting somewhere, the other side's always the darkest. Look how I'm using the contour or the curve, just like I am with the flower, going around the contour or the curve to bring dimension in my art. So I'm gonna hop around because your art says that you need to have 3 or 4 sketches. Okay, so look just a second at a time. There's a little bit of an overlap, shading here. And I just wanted to remind you, what is tone? Tone is the technical skill of going from dark to light by letting up the pressure, or if you're with a marker, which we're going to do next, a little bit of circularization, a little bit of my toning shades. If the light's hitting here, your darkest dark is going to be absence of light. Where's your darkest dark? You could say it right there underneath. So I'm doing a little bit of circularization. What's your favorite shading technique, since we've gone over them? And you want your darkest dark under there. You're going to slowly let up pressure if you're on pencil and go from dark to light. Now this is going to be a fruit. Should this be an apple? It's definitely not a pear, but I like doing a leaf. You could make your fruit whatever kind you want. And from light to dark is good, and I've taught you how to. Yes, you can blend it using your finger. And then, oops, we'll have to wash our finger before we eat for sure. Okay, so that's 1, 2. The assignment says at least 4 fruit or other still life objects or things from your photography. So if you have a still life object, something that stays still, you can draw it. Some of you guys might be drawing a scissor or a pen, something in your pencil box, and we're slowly getting our tone, our shading, our dark to light on each of those, okay? I have for you on your sheet a fish and a panda. Think about what animals you like. I even have on there something I found on the internet, where you could get out your Chromebook. I have a cat and some more fruit. If you want to use the sources I have for you, you can. Next, we're going to keep going with that. We're going to do a large pen sketch on newspaper or a prepared background. Ooh. We're going to end with wax resist, which is simply using a crayon, and then we're going to resist it, and the watercolor will repel off of it. All right, so I have 1, 2. I'm going to keep going with my pencil sketches, and I might do a fish because we're on our under the seat theme, using that fish I gave you as a primary source. And I want to make sure that I'm teaching you and you're following along and we're all practicing together. When you do your undersea animal, little by little, looking at your source, step by step, that you don't do shading like this. Okay, you do shading around the curve, and this is why we're practicing, around the curve or the contour of the creature. Once you start doing, instead of circular shapes, animals, the contour, the curve of the body, and you go darker, usually under the belly, depending on your photography of it, and usually lets up. So I'm going around the curve or the contour of the body. Then I can add a little shading, so it goes slowly from dark to light and then let up, just like we did for different tones. All right, as we continue, like I said, I'm going to cruise through this assignment, so that way I have 3. The 4th one I'll probably do bigger up here, and I'll probably end with that panda bear with his dark ears. Right, his ears will be dark, and the eyes. And he'll come down to his little panda nose. I'm working really quick. You can always replay this video. And this dude's eating a piece of bamboo. Oh yeah. And I'll just go right over here. We call overlap or collage this page, right? And I'm gonna continue with tones, just like you saw on the source, but I don't want to take this whole entire time. Go into the darkest dark in there, get in the eyes. I'm going to quickly show you on these video lessons, and then you'll have the most time to focus on your work. You're going to keep going. Now, you're going to see mine versus the one I'm going to show you. You're going to have to add some more tone. Where? Look at mine. Now look at the source. Ooh, look at all that tone, right? You're going to have to spend a little longer on that. Tone is a technical skill learned. It can be learned. And doing so, the more you do, the better you're going to get. That's why we keep practicing. Tone is going from dark to light. And we looked at all these different techniques. If you missed that lesson with Mrs. Smith, you can try out, and I've talked to you about contour, all the different shading techniques, and see which one is your favorite. You know, I've used some circulization, some scribbling. All right, with our Under the Sea theme, we tried to get some tone on different creatures. Some of you, I was saying that's something that we're going to work on. So now we're going to go to our prepared background. If you have newspaper or a prepared background somewhere where you practice watercolor, we're now going to end with a Sharpie of your choice. And we're going to do a large pen sketch. I have an apple or blank drawn large in pen. So if your blank is something like this, from our featured artist, Wyland, you can look at that and you can do something like a sea animal, if that's going to be your large drawing. Okay, so I'm looking at the tail, I'm going down the body. I want to make sure I'm showing for you and modeling for you how you can use your research, things you like in art, so it doesn't all have to be what your teacher picks for you. That's where you add personal expression. Okay, so I'm going down the bottom of the body here, and I'm having it go back. Okay, so you see, I see the light hitting the top, and it's a little more blue under there. He used blue to shade, but we're just going to work with shading with pen. This way I know you can't blend, but you have to loosen up and really work on the contour lines and the shading and shadows using hopefully what I'm doing here, a little bit of circulization and letting up, ending up with curl from dark to light. And I'm going to end with a large, what should I make this, guys? An orange? Okay, I'll make this one an orange. Instead of an apple, I'm not going to do the stem, but if the light's hitting above, I'm going to have my light source there, then I'm going to have my darkest dark down here. And this is where I'm doing circulation, along with contour lines. And I'm going to have this just be a monster bubble coming up out of the sea. Okay, now all the assignment says is you just need to do one large, big, with a background, a prepared background. If you want to do more than one, because your composition looks like it needs more than one, then practice shading or blending, which is from the darkest side down here, slowly getting light, and this time we're doing it with pen. Okay, we're going to end this lesson doing the same thing with your title, Wax Resist with crayon, and then we're going to watercolor wash on top of it. That'll be tomorrow's lesson. Over and out from the art room. Hope you enjoyed.